I think I've got grissing breadsticks baked with 7% olive oil stuck in my teeth. I'm doing this thing now where I just can't eat lunch. Like, it's not that I can't, but it's like there's never anything in the house. We've got so much random stuff, but nothing that makes one thing. We'll have like a block of cheese and then like an egg, just one egg. So I've just been like snacking recently, just a lot of snacking, which I'm not really a big fan of. I like to eat. So just eating like breadsticks for lunch just isn't very satisfying, but I'm grateful for the breadsticks because honestly, if we didn't have these, I don't know what I'd eat right now. I was wearing a really cute top at the start of this video, but it's too cold and I just feel like being comfy, but like I always feel like being comfy, so I don't think I'll ever look really, really cute in these videos because this is... Okay, so I wanted to talk about ghosting. I feel like ghosting has become such a common thing. I feel like I'm looking right into your eyes. Is that what's going on here? I might just have to look at myself, I'm sorry. So yeah, I feel like ghosting has just become so normalized, which I don't agree with, I have to say. And I'm gonna hold my hands up today. Hold on, gotta put my tea down. Oh! Guilty. I have ghosted. And I've also been ghosted. So I've been on both sides of this weird phenomenon. And I just thought I'd talk about it because it has been in the back of my mind for a while. And I thought I could definitely make a YouTube video on this, but I guess I didn't make the video sooner because I don't know what to say. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know what my opinion is on the topic, but I've had some time to think about this and I think I know how I feel now. I think with everything being online, it's so easy to ghost someone. It's so easy to cut someone off, like especially if you don't see them, like you don't live in the same city, you don't live in the same town, you know you're not going to see them ever again. You could be talking to them every day, but it just takes a click of a button for you to just decide you're going to delete them out of your life, which is so weird, so scary and just really unnatural. Like that would have never been a thing. You would have gone to the local pub and seen whoever you ghosted there. Like, don't you think you could ghost people back then because you just see them all the time? It'd be so awkward. You'd just be like, fuck it, should we just be friends? Like, I see you every day, like let's just not be fighting. But these days there's none of that. I don't know if it's still going on, but I just remember this absolute flood of, it was like an era of like girl gossip, but in the wrong way, where it was like, if someone isn't adding value to your life, cut them off right now. You don't need them, they're dead weight. And I really don't agree with that, like at all. It's not a healthy way to deal with people. They're human beings with feelings. Like you can't just delete them. You can, but that's the problem. Stop deleting people. And the thing is, like, I sound like such a hypocrite because I've literally ghosted so many people. Like, I mean, yeah, I've ghosted a lot of people in the past and it's something I'm working on. I literally noticed the pattern coming back recently with a few friends that I'd made in the past like 2 years. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm literally being like, yeah, let's pretend that we're like drifting, but really I'm just like disappearing slowly. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, no, like why are we doing this again? Like this is such an unhealthy pattern. So it's something that I'm still working on, but yeah, let's talk about it. I think the reason why people tend to ghost, I mean there's quite a few reasons, but let's get to it. As a psychologist, I'm not a psychologist, as someone who is studying psychotherapy, I'm learning about why people do the things that they do and where it comes from and all that stuff. So the more I learn, the more I'll be able to share, but this is just my own knowledge and my own opinion at this point. I think this is probably one of the biggest reasons, but maybe it just seems like that because it's my biggest reason. My main reason for cutting people off in the past was because I had a fear of conflict. So if something was going on in the friendship or something had happened that I wasn't comfortable with or I didn't agree with, I wouldn't talk to them about it. I wouldn't be like, oh, you know, that thing that happened, like that made me feel like this, and this is why I was being distant, and this is why this. Communication for me was non-existent. If something happened, I wouldn't ignore it. Like in my head, I'd be angry, I'd be all of these things, but I wouldn't let them know. I know where this comes from, and I know why I'm not like this now. I'm trying to move away from that, but I know why I was like that, and obviously it stems back to the childhood, your parents, and the way that you dealt with conflict at home and how conflict was dealt with at home. It's really interesting. So I'd say if you are a ghoster and you genuinely, because the thing is, like, people think that if you ghost them that you're just ruthless and you don't give a fuck, and that can be the case sometimes, but at the same time, like, if you're a ghoster, like, you are hurt in some kind of a way, and sometimes you don't actually want to be the ghoster. You don't actually want to ghost someone, and you wish that you didn't cut people off and distance yourself, but it's something that you just notice that you're doing. But yeah, it's just a lot easier to disappear. Like, it is. So if you have a fear of conflict, and you've got two choices. You can either go to your friend and be like, hey, you're a bitch because this reason, and this reason, which is scary because you're having to be vulnerable and say how you really feel and potentially hurt someone. That's another reason I did this all the time, because I did not, for the life of me, I did not want to hurt people, and I knew that if I told the truth, they would be hurt. 100% they would be hurt and they wouldn't like what came out of my mouth, and that was a big reason why I didn't want to say anything, because I didn't want to hurt them. But then because I didn't say anything, I hurt them even more. So that's a lesson. It's a lesson. Don't avoid it. Don't avoid telling the truth. Don't avoid communicating with someone, because it's only going to end up a lot messier than it needs to be. Sometimes it is a case of like that person, if you've been ghosted, the person that's ghosted you might just not care. That is possible. They don't value the friendship as much as you do, and that can be a big reason. So to them, it is a bit of a like, oh, we just don't talk anymore. You know, if they were to describe what happened between you two, they'd be like, oh yeah, like we were friends, but you know, we weren't really that close and like we didn't really click. They'd kind of see it that way, and it's not that they're trying to brush it off, but some people genuinely are just like, oh yeah, like we weren't that close, so you know, we drifted, whatever. Whereas the other person on the other side of the scale, they're like really hurt. They thought they were close, they thought they were gonna spend the rest of their life with them. No, maybe not, maybe, I don't know. So it's interesting because you can be in a friendship with someone and there can be two completely different stories, and you can feel differently about each other. So it's all very interesting, very complicated too. So how can we, as the ghosters, how can we stop ghosting people? How can you actually start dealing with people better and communicating? Because that is, for me anyway, that's the way I see it. It's like the brunt of it is communication, and you've got a lack of communication. So yeah, if you have a problem with someone or you don't want to be friends with someone anymore, because the thing is, like, you can have decided, I'm not going to be friends with this person. I remember in the past, I literally went out with this one friend that I used to have, and they were acting a certain way that I didn't like. They were being very pessimistic, a little bit rude, and I literally just remember thinking to myself, this is the last time I'm gonna hang out with this person. This is the last time I'm gonna waste my energy on this person. And that's all well and good. Like, it's okay to decide that you don't want to, you know, have that person in your circle anymore, but it's the way that you deal with it that actually matters. So definitely try to find a way to sit them down and just be honest. Like, if you can just say what's on your mind and clearly communicate why it is that you don't want to be friends with them anymore, because it's not always the case that you don't want to be friends. You might just have been hurt. They might have done something that you don't agree with. You know, instead of being distant and being a bit arsey with them, you can just be like, listen, what you did last Friday night with Katy Perry was just awful. Just wasn't something I pictured you doing. It's not something I thought you would say. Jason is my ex-boyfriend, and you and you shouldn't have done what you did. Something like that, you know? Just being mature and honest, and just sit them down, because if they are like a good friend, if they're a best friend, then they will take it, well, they won't take it well, they might not, but they will appreciate and respects you for just being honest and not cutting them off and being distant and weird, because no one has time for that. Last but not least, let's talk about, oh, that just ruins it, doesn't it? I'm gonna have to cut that off. Like my friends. Joking, we don't do that anymore. When is it actually okay to ghost? Like, when is it okay to do this? I have a few scenarios. So I think if you have spoken to your friend numerous times and you've said how you feel, you've been honest, and nothing's changing, I think after that point you are allowed to just be like, you know what, there is nothing more I can say, there's nothing more that I can do. This person is draining my energy, this person is not good for me, they might be a danger to you, to themselves. You need to get out of there. Sometimes you just need to get out of there, especially if it's a toxic friendship, relationship even. I'm mainly talking about friendships, aren't I here, but you can ghost people in a relationship too. But yeah, we are talking about friendship really. If they are genuinely like a threat to your well-being, then I think that's when it's okay to ghost someone. Get out of there. Just get out of there, because at the end of the day you do have to put yourself first, and if your health and safety, this is a health and safety risk, then you need to get out of there, because it's just not worth it. Some people, you can be open and honest and truthful and it just goes over the head and they don't care, or they can't sit in that space with you and acknowledge it and take accountability. So sometimes, you know, you do your part and the other person doesn't do theirs. There's nothing you can do about that at that point. So just do what you can to express how you really feel. Honesty just really is the best policy. That's what I've learned. I've always heard it, honesty is the best policy, like honesty is the best. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then, yeah, life told me honesty is the best policy. It really is. So what now? What do we do now? Because I am a recovering ghoster. Clear cut communication is always the best route to go, okay? One of my friends actually messaged me recently asking like, what could I improve about myself? Like, tell me what I could do better. And I just thought that is so brave, like so brave, just to be like, basically, constructive criticism please. And I think we should all just start doing that, just messaging our friends being like, what can I do better? How can I be a better friend? How can I be a better partner? How can I be a better mother, a better daughter, a better auntie, a better uncle, you know? It's so important for us to take accountability for our own actions and for our own behaviours. Like, once you start realising that everyone's kind of a little bit messed up, not messed up, like it's not messed up, but it's like none of us are perfect, like, and once you realise that, it's just a lot less scary to acknowledge the things that are holding you back or the things that are getting in the way of your healthy relationships, you know? I've been talking for days, I've been talking a lot. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this chat. I mean, I say that every time, but I really do. I just really enjoy making these videos. Like, this is really exciting. I don't know if it's sad, but I literally wake up sometimes and I'm like, I'm really excited because today I'm a YouTuber. I'm just like, can't wait to edit that video, and then I'm like, oh, I can't wait to film this video, can't wait to communicate with my subscribers. But honestly, I really appreciate anyone who is subscribed, and if you're not subscribed already, what are you doing? Like and subscribe if you're feeling cheeky, only if you're feeling cheeky though. I don't want you subscribing just for the sake of it, okay? And turn on the notification bell because I upload twice a week. At the moment I'm uploading Wednesdays and Sundays. If that changes, I will probably let you know. I hope everyone's having a lovely day. I've drank half of this and now it's gone cold. Alright, I'm gonna go now. Love you. See you later.